Okay, y'all, this just happened. I just want to tell a quick story real quick. I just got back to my room. This just happened. Okay, so I wanted to be super independent today and ride my bike. I'm laughing because just listen how good God is, okay? I wanted to just be independent or ride my bike to the beach. The beach is about 1.5 miles from here. And so I put all my stuff in there. I was going to do some watercoloring today, and I planned out all my lessons for my training, for my video editing, and I'm going to be teaching some Adobe things. So I planned out all of that. So I just wanted to take some time, spend some time with the Lord at the beach. And so anyway, so I'm headed that way. I have my bike. All my stuff is packed in my basket on my bike. And I'm just riding. I'm like, okay, I got this. I feel confident. So I'm riding down the road and I stop midway because I want to make sure on my GPS I'm going the right way. Like it's only 1.5 miles, but I just want to make sure I'm going the right way, right? Okay, so then I like check my phone. I was like, okay, I'm good. So then I put my phone back in my basket and then boom, I'm off, right? So I'm just going down the road. And then this truck pulls, like it's on the road beside me, and it pulls and like cuts me off. And I was like, I don't know who that person is, but I'm not messing around. So I just kept going. So just booking it, ride to the beach, ride. So I get to the beach and I feel so accomplished. I found this cute little table right there. And I just was gonna just sit there. I was like, oh, this is a good place for me to paint and everything. I was like, oh, let me take out my phone to take a picture. So I reached in my basket to look for my phone. It was nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. So I was like, oh my gosh, that dude was trying to give me my phone. So then I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to backtrack all the way back and look for my phone. I was like, and I was positive. I was like, I know for sure that guy was just trying to help me and give me my phone, right? But you do have to be safe. Like you don't know who's stopping or whatever. But anyway, but he was just trying to be nice. Okay. So in my mind, I thought a couple things. I was like, okay, well, he has my phone. So hopefully if he's trying to stop and give it to me, he would be willing to like pick up when I called. So I get back to Ocean's Edge base, and there's, like I said, the coffee shop is right in the front. So I go to the coffee shop and I was like, oh man, I was like, a good day just turned into a bad day. I was like, my phone, I popped out of my basket. I was like, I guess I didn't have it deep down enough. So I was like, can y'all call my phone? There's 2 people who work in there who are wonderful, Samson and Chloe. So they helped me. So they both called my phone. And then that is actually when I remember, I was like, oh my gosh, my phone's on silent. Okay. I was like, that person's not even gonna know it's ringing. Okay. Chloe's like, well, we'll keep trying. I was like, okay, thank you so much. So then I said, can we pray real quick? So Samson and Chloe, they're a married couple. So we all 3 prayed together. And then I was like, Lord, just please help me find my phone. I was like, let that person just be kind enough and return my phone and whatever. You know, whatever I said in the prayer. It was just a short little prayer. Like, please give me my phone, Lord, please. So then after that, I just brought my bike to my room. I'm like, this was gonna be a good day, okay? Like it started out really well. Like I'm feeling like on top of the world, confident, things are happening, I'm getting things done. When I left Chloe and Samson, I was like, the Lord is gonna help me. I just felt like he would. I don't know, I just felt like he would. And I come in here and I just close the door. I'm like, oh my gosh. Think about if you lose your phone, all the different things that go through your mind, right? I mean, everything's on there, like all these group chats here at Ocean's Edge, like me even needing the phone. That's how I've been contacting people from home, and it's just all these things. And so I sat on my bed, I turned on my laptop, I put it in Google. I was like, find your phone on Google or whatever. And I totally forgot I had enabled that feature on my phone. So I found my phone, I saw it on a map. So then you can click on the button and it said ring your phone. So I rang my phone, and even if the ringer is off, it rings. So I rang my phone and then boom, it gets shut off. So I'm like, okay, well, somebody has my phone. So then I ring it again, it gets shut off. I was like, okay, well, it's in the presence of someone, and I bet the ring is sort of annoying, so they're turning it off. So then I was like, I bet you that alerted them to look at the phone at least. So then immediately I called them from Google, from my laptop, and then he picked up. And I was like, oh, hola. And I speak some Spanish, but I was like, oh, necesito mi celular. And I was like, I need my cellular phone. So anyway, he was speaking pretty fast and I couldn't really keep up with him. So I took my laptop and I ran it to the coffee shop where Samson and Chloe were, and Samson helped, and he spoke with him. And Samson was able to share his location with the guy. The guy brought the phone to me. And that's what I'm recording on right now. So if you didn't figure it out, I got my phone back. But anyway, I was just thinking like, oh Lord, like what are the chances? It could have ended up in anybody's hands. He took all that time to contact us, talk to Samson on the phone. Samson shared his location with him, all these different things. And he was just kind enough to bring the phone back. So it's just a small testimony of the goodness of God. I mean, what are the chances for my phone literally to fly out of my bike, and then for a guy to get it and for him to be willing to bring it all the way to me. I didn't even have to go find him. He brought it to me. I mean, there's probably a myriad of lessons here, but the biggest lesson is God is faithful. And I just believe when we prayed, I felt like he was going to answer. The Lord could have worked it out in different ways, but he decided to bring me back this phone. And you know what it reminds me of? I mean, this is like so just a thought I just had. Do you remember when, now I'm gonna hopefully not get all the details wrong, but when David and his men, they came back to the camp, and when they came back to their camp, I need to find some references. I'll put it in the description. Anyway, so when they came back to the camp, everything was gone, everything was taken, their women, their children, everything. And the men were just crying and upset. And so then the end of that story is that when they went, everything was restored to them. Everything was restored to them. Now, God can do things in different ways, right? But sometimes he just gives us back what we ask for, which is just amazing. He could have done it in different ways. I could have gotten a new phone. I could have figured out all my contacts. I could have done that. He could have provided that way. But instead, he decided to give me back my phone. So all glory be to God. I just want to share that with you. I hope that encourages you in some way. But God bless you. And I will be back with a food haul. I didn't forget. Bye. Okay, I'm going to try to make this super quick because I don't want this video to be extra long, but I found the scripture reference I was talking about with David, okay? It's in 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 1. It starts off. I just want to read the whole thing, but I'm going to skip around. Now it happened that when David and his men came to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south, and Ziklag attacked Ziklag and burned it with fire. And the Amalekites had taken captive the women and those who were there from small to great. They did not kill anyone, but carried them away and went their way. Verse 3 says, so David and his men came to the city, and there it was burned with fire. And their wives and their sons and their daughters had been taken captive. Verse 4 says, then David and the people who were with him lifted up their voices and wept until they had no more power to weep. They were just so distraught, right? So he was greatly distressed. Okay, verse 6, this is so good, I have to read it. Now David was greatly distressed, for the people spoke of stoning him. The men were like, we're going to kill you because all of our wives and our children are gone. Because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and his daughters. But David strengthened himself in the Lord his God. That's a whole word. He strengthened himself in the Lord his God. He went to God. He knew God was the only one who could help him. I know this situation is more serious than mine and my cell phone, but I knew I had to go to God. I did not know where my cell phone was. I had to go to God. He was the only one who could help me. And he was the only one who could help David and his men. So he went to God. He inquired of God. So this is verse 8. So David inquired of the Lord, saying, shall I pursue this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he, God, answered him and said, pursue, for you shall surely overtake them and without fail recover all. That is a word from God. And that was a surety I had in my heart. The Lord was like, I was like, Lord, you're the only one who can help me. I need you to find my cell phone. And I just knew he would. So then we go down and he says, David pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 men were just too weary. Like 200 men were like, we just can't go with you, bro, because we're just distraught. Okay. So then they found, it says in verse 11, then they, being David and his men, found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David, and they gave him bread and he ate, and they led him to drink water. So anyway, basically, I'm just going to paraphrase this part. Basically, that Egyptian was from the other camp and he was left in the field. It says, we made an invasion, verse 14, we made an invasion of the southern area of the Cherethites in the territory which belongs to Judah and the southern area of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. So that's when David was like, oh my gosh, this Egyptian must have been with the people who burned up our camp, which was in Ziklag, with fire, and they took everything. So it says, he's like, well, take me to these men. And the Egyptian was like, listen, I'll take you, but you have to promise you will not kill me. And you won't give me to them, because if you give me to them, they're going to kill me. And David was like, okay, fine. So he brought him, the Egyptian brought David and his men to the camp. And it says in verse 17, then David attacked them from twilight until the evening of the next day. Not a man of them escaped, except 400 young men who rode on camels and fled. Okay. So he killed them, or they left. That was all the men. So David, listen to this in verse 18. So David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives. And nothing, verse 19, and nothing of theirs was lacking, either small or great, sons or daughters, spoil or anything which they had taken from them. David recovered all. Oh, that's a whole word. That's 1 Samuel chapter 30. I just think that's a whole word. I know. Okay, I'm going to end this. I don't want it to be too long, but all I am saying to you is there something in your life? Is it your family, your daughters, whatever, your sons, a promise, anything in your life which you know that the Lord has given you, and you have to ask God to recover it for you? He's the only one you can ask. Let's ask him now in faith. If he has given it to us in our care, he is able to restore it to us, because he has given it to us for a reason. So let's go to God. He's the only one who can do it. Okay, bye. God bless you. Bye.